Anytime the weather is a little chilly, I love firing up a pot of delicious, belly-warming, nap-inducing stew. So today we have one of our favorite chefs, food writers, and teachers, Susan Barocas, in studio to cook up some stewy deliciousness. Nice to see you, Susan.
I'm so happy to be back. Thank you, Michael.
And so we just dumped the garlic into our onions.
Right? And yep. And it's going to go ahead and cook away. What we're making today is a Three Sisters and Friends stew.
Now, who are these sisters?
I know. The sisters are in many Native American cuisines, corn, beans, and squash.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why do they call them sisters?
Well, they grow together in an incredibly symbiotic arrangement. So what happens is you plant the corn and the squash first.
Okay.
The squash becomes ground cover, holds in the water, and also keeps the weeds down. The corn starts to grow really tall, and then 3 weeks later you plant the beans, and the beans grow up the corn stalks.
Wow.
And not only are they symbiotic in the ground, but when we eat them, there's a wonderful relationship, very healthy relationship.
Interesting.
With lots of vitamins.
You know, the Native Americans, they got it all figured out.
We need to follow this practice,
tell
right?
me about it.
So what I want you to do as we're talking now, Michael, if you would, is add the spices.
Okay.
So first you're adding oregano, and then the cumin, and then there'll be the turmeric and the chili powder. And the reason we're adding them...
it just smells so good.
That's exactly it. The reason we're adding them now is that as you stir them and they saute for just a moment, it releases really the smell, but it also deepens the flavor. It intensifies the flavor.
So good.
And this, when we get done with this, you'll have a stew that is low fat, high protein, with potassium, vitamin A, B, C. It's just incredibly delicious. We add the tomatoes next.
Okay, tomatoes next. Now these are what kind of tomatoes?
So these are a petite diced canned tomato. So if you make this in the winter, since I like to really try to eat fresh food seasonally, I tend to buy organic canned tomatoes to make stews in the winter.
Right.
So that's what these are. And you can buy whole tomatoes and break them up with your hands or the spoon. You can buy a bigger dice if you like it. I kind of like this petite dice.
The petite, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm petite, so it works for me. And so what do we have here?
And this is just some good old veggie broth. And isn't that a nice color? It's getting, the turmeric gives it that golden color.
And the smell is so nice. Now I'm looking over at this beautiful butternut squash. What do you got here?
Well, everybody has fear of butternut squash.
I have fear. I have a butternut squash I haven't touched in like a month, and because I don't want to break it down. It's too much work.
You're going to go home and do it today, because look at this. All we do is cut it across the neck and just rock it. Keep your hands, your fingers obviously out of the way, but rock it. We saw that. I didn't even apply a lot of pressure.
Nope.
And you're going to cut each half, again, into quarters.
Okay.
And just for time's sake, I've gone ahead and done that with this one. Okay, this is the bottom, a quarter of the bottom.
It.
And what I've done is you just scoop out the seeds.
Okay.
Save them, wash them, roast them, of course.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
And then the easiest thing, you take and you start cutting some rings.
Okay.
An inch to 2 inches, depending on what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay. Then all you have to do is run your knife down the edge. You do not want to try to do this with a potato peeler.
No.
The squash will resist.
Oh my gosh, that's so easy.
Isn't that nice?
I was doing it with a potato peeler.
Gosh, I'm surprised you could do it at all.
Shows you the level of intelligence, yes.
Well, this is a tip actually that I learned a few years ago from a friend of mine.
Oh, I love it.
And she changed my life, and now I get to pass it on and change yours.
Well, thank you. It is changed.
And
so now are we going to add this squash into the soup?
We are going to. Let's see how we're doing here.
Okay. Seems like we're going.
So you want to try to cut your veggies into fairly even, size.
Okay.
So now I just want to mention that we brought one friend to the party, which is the tomatoes.
That's a friend.
That's a friend.
Okay, so we got the sisters.
Yep.
And now we got our friends. This is part of the sisters, the squash.
Yes. And in that dish.
And I'm going to just get all these sisters in, yes?
Yep. Now what's in there is sweet potato and squash.
Sweet potato and squash.
Sweet potato is the other
Is a friend as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
They make a
That's
very
all right.
nice
It's
relationship.
a friendly experience.
It is a friendly
all the way
experience.
around.
Now this is going to cook for 20 to 25 minutes depending on how you've cut your...
Okay.
You don't want it to be falling apart. You want it to be just fork tender.
Okay.
At that point...
The squash, that is, and the sweet
The squash
potatoes.
and the sweet potatoes.
Okay, nice.
You know, we would probably cover it and let it cook for a bit. Now, what you want to do after about 20, 25 minutes when it's fork tender is you will have opened 2 cans of black beans and a can of corn.
So these are our 2 other sisters.
Yes,
they're a little
they
late
are.
to the party.
They're late
right?
comers.
Fashionably late.
They're fashionably late because they're already
And they're
cooked.
older, right? So that's okay.
And they're
They can,
saltier.
yes, right. Yes, indeed, they're
Yes.
much saltier.
And that's part of why we take them out of the cans and rinse them
Rinse
before
them.
we put them in.
Okay, before, that's a good tip.
We really want to control our salt.
Yes,
And if you
yes.
notice, I haven't put salt and pepper
No,
in this
no,
yet.
you haven't.
That'll come later. After
Okay.
it all cooks together, once you add this, you would cook for another about 10 minutes just to get all the flavors together.
Nice.
And then you'll figure out
This is so simple.
salt and pepper.
And it smells so good.
Thank you. And serve it with like brown rice. Yes, you've got to
Let's
taste
try
brown
it.
rice and a salad, and you have a whole meal. Oh, thank you.
You always make the most comfort food.
Oh, thank you so much. This is dinner, so thanks.
Okay, so Shabbat Shalom. Could I say that?
If this is going to broadcast on a Friday. Tell me, you'll have to. This is always the moment I wonder, do you like it? Yeah?
That is so good.
It's very
I love
rewarding.
that. You can really taste the spices.
Good, good. And I have to tell you that because I don't like breakfast foods a whole lot. I eat this for breakfast when it's left over in the fridge.
I can see that.
Delicious.
It's almost like an oatmeal-y,
Yes,
like
It's
it just hits
warm.
those, those notes.
that's right.
Susan,
That's right.
always a good time.
Thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you. So now that we've enjoyed the main course, it's time for dessert. Up next.
She's hanging out on the
It's a
shelf over
shelf.
here. You guys can't see her. She's right there. It's 8:45. No, just kidding.
Time for dessert.